stated about the apprentice's search for her own identity. Every girl her age, even in today's complex and fast-paced world, is grappling with the question of who she is, where she belongs, what her destiny is to be. The names of today's girls come in waves. One year they all seemed to be Emma, the next year it was Sophia, and now I'm told Charlotte is making the rounds. What would it be like if each of them, like the midwife's apprentice, had to find her way to a true and valuable name? I find myself extraordinarily touched by the scene where Beetle breathes a name tentatively to herself and realizes that it sounds clean and friendly and smart, a name worthy of being loved. And this is the same girl that the author told us at the beginning hoped for nothing. Being loved. That's really what it's about, always. Okay, that raises the question of the cat. I confess that I'm a dog person myself. When, in books, I've given a pet companion to a protagonist, it's generally been a canine. Still, even though I'm not convinced that cats are truly loving creatures, I do appreciate Purr, the cat in this book. Things do not come easily to the midwife's apprentice, and somehow the prickly haughtiness of a cat does seem better suited as a foil and confidant to Alice than the obsequious and indiscriminate affection that a puppy would bring to the page. And after all, Purr refuses to abandon her when she herself is tempted to give up. And maybe it is Purr whose enigmatic stare, with his gooseberry eyes, convinces the midwife's apprentice to declare, "I know how to try and risk and fail and try again and not give up." Good for her, and for all girls like her or becoming like her, and for the cat and all cats, and all midwives as well. 1. The Dung Heap. When animal droppings and garbage and spoiled straw are piled up in a great heap, the rotting and moiling give forth heat. Usually, no one gets close enough to notice because of the stench. But the girl noticed, and on that frosty night burrowed deep into the warm, rotting muck, heedless of the smell. In any event, the dung heap probably smelled little worse than everything else in her life. The food scraps scavenged from kitchen yards, the stables and sties she slept in when she could, and her own unwashed, unnourished, unloved, and unlovely body. How old she was hard to say. She was small and pale, with the frightened air of an ill-used child, but her scrawny, underfed body did give off a hint of woman, so perhaps she was 12 or 13. No one knew for sure, least of all the girl herself, who knew no home and no mother, and no name but Brat, and never had. Someone, she assumed, must have borne her and cared for her, lest she toddle into the pond, and changed her diapers when they reeked. But as long as she could remember, Brat had lived on her own by what means she could, stealing an onion here, or helping with the harvest there, in exchange for a night on the stable floor. She took what she could from a village, and moved on before the villagers, with their rakes and sticks, drove her away. Snug cottages and warm bread, and mothers who hugged their babes were beyond her imagining, but dearly would she have loved to eat a turnip without the mud of the field still on it, or sleep in a barn fragrant with new hay, and not the rank smell of pigs who fart when they eat too much. Tonight, she settled for the warm rotting of a dung heap, where she dreamed of nothing, for she hoped for nothing, and expected nothing. It was as cold and dark inside her as out in the frosty night. Morning brought rain to ease the cold, and the kick of a boot in Brat's belly. Hunger. Brat hated the hunger most, or was it the cold? She knew only that hunger and cold cursed her life, and kept her waking and walking and working for no other reason than to stop the pain. Dung beetle, smelly old dung beetle sleeping in the dung. Boys. In every village there were boys, teasing, taunting, pinching, kicking. Always they were the